Welcome back guys to Rising Coders Era, and in this video we are going to see data types in Java. So there are basically two types inside the data types. There are primitive data type and non-primitive data type, also called as a reference data type. So we are going to see about this in this video. So first data type here we are going to see, and that is going to be primitive data types. So what are primitive data types? Primitive data types are nothing but it is predefined by language. Language has inbuilt data type is called as primitive data type. Primitive data types are predefined by language. You can just see over here, and named as named by result keywords. Result keywords is nothing but we can't use the keywords in another variable or in any function or anywhere. We can't use the keywords because they are just reserved by the language. That seems that it has been just declared inside the language. Okay, so we can't use it anywhere. Here we are having totally 8 primitive data types inside Java. Okay, so you should know that Java has 8 primitive data types. Now here we are having 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Now what is byte and bits? Bits is nothing but it is a combination of zeros and 1. Okay, so bit may be 0 or it may be 1. So any program you write in your computer or any application running on your computer, it just works on the binary value. Computer just understands the binary value, and that is nothing but it is 0. Okay, it may be 0 or it may be 1. So here 8 bits is nothing but it is combination of zeros and 1 inside 1 byte. Okay, 1 byte is nothing but 8 bits. Okay, you can just see over here 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. In most computer systems, a byte is a basic unit of data storage and consists of 8 bits. Okay, so for storing the data all the time we use the bits only. Okay, computer knows just the binary language, and that is the 0 and 1. If you talk inside your hard disk also, you have the 0 1 combination of zeros and 1. It also stores the value in binary value, and similar with SSD also. So both of them just have the binary giving a total of, okay, now when we see, we know that 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. So if we talk about the combination, how much combinations are possible, so you can just multiply 2 into 2 into 2 8 times and you will get this possibility. 256 is the possible combination for a single byte. Okay, so this is a combination for a single byte. Now here we are going to move to the 8 primitive data types inside Java, and they are byte, short, integer, long, float, double, character, boolean. Okay, now when we talk about a byte, 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. About the byte, it is having a storage of 1 byte. So short is having 2 bytes, 4 bytes, 8 bytes, 4 bytes. So in this way you can just see your float is having 4 bytes. Okay, first we will go with byte. Byte is nothing but 1 byte, and 1 byte is nothing but 8 bits. Then we are having short. Short is of 2 bytes. 2 bytes, that means 8 to the 16. Okay, you can say if we talk inside the bits, it is going to be 16 bits. Integer is of 4 bytes, and if you talk inside bits, so 16, and here it is double than 2, so 16 2s are 32. Similarly at 32 and 32 you will get 64. Similarly here 32 for float, and we have just converted it. Okay, so here you should know this. Okay, I'm just going to move it at this point, and according to this we have just converted byte, bits, and all the conditions we have just written. You just have to know the 8 data types, and that is byte, short, integer, long, float, double, character, boolean. What is the primitive data type in Java? We have just covered it. Represent a small integer value from this to this. Okay, now we are having a byte, and there is a certain range for each and every data type. Okay, so there is some range for byte, then we are having short, integer, long, float, double. Range is there, that has been specified. In between that only we can store the numbers. Okay, now here for the byte we are having -128 to 127. Okay, we are just going to see at the terminal if it is going to throw any error or not. Okay, now when we have just run the code, it has just printed the 10. Okay, this is the output. The first one is the output for the first. We are just learning about byte. Now if just I'm going to change it to 127, okay, we know it is the last value. It should printed over here. So you can just see 127 is printed over here. Now when I'm just going to change it to 128, and here you can just see error in completed time possible has conversion from integer to byte. So it is not possible. Here we just have a certain range, and you can see this here. There is having a certain range, and you cannot cross the range. You cannot go more than this range. So it is going to throw the error. Now if just I'm going to go for -128 and -120, we will go for 9, and let's see what is the error. Okay, it is going to show the similar error with this also. So here there is some range, you can just see and that's all. There is a certain range over here, and between that range only we can access the value for that particular data type for byte. Okay, next thing we are going to see, and that is the short. So similar with short, here is certain range, and if we just cross the range, it is going to throw the error. Similar error you can find out here also. Short is nothing but where we just have the integer value from minus 32 768 to 32 767. Okay, so this is the range. Then we are having, okay, so what is the size? Okay, we can just see short is having only 2 bytes. Okay, as the range is going to increase, the bytes value is also going to be increased. Okay, so you can just see short integer from this to this is 100. Now is having this range 2 to the power of 31 and 2 to the power of 31 minus 1. After calculating, you can just calculate it on calc and you will get this output. Okay, so here this is the integer where we store the integer. Short is having this value, so in between this we can just store the value, and here also we are having byte, so in between this we can use this value. So the next thing we have just completed integer, we are having a long is having a huge value. You can see the long is having the storage of 8 bytes. Okay, so it just take the 8 bits bytes. Okay, so we are having a long, and here also I have just calculated. You can calculate it. You can just see at the end you just have to write the capital L over here. Then float is also having similar thing, but here f is not capital, f is small. Okay, float is having f, and floating point value with simple precision. That means you can just take a floating point up to a certain point. Okay, after decimal point, 2 digit you can just take, and floating point is little bit less, and when you go to the double you can take a huge. After this dot you can take a huge value. The next thing, we single Unicode character. That means character is nothing but ABCD, as you know. So single character you can just use here. Character is having 2 bytes. Okay, because you can just see there is not a huge storage amount. 2 bytes. Double should have more, and long is having 8 bytes. Okay, so 8 bytes is for long and double because it is storing a huge value. Okay, then next is a float and integer. They are having 4 bytes. Short is having just 2 bytes. And character is also having 2 bytes. Byte is having 1 byte, and boolean is having 1 bit. 1 bit is nothing but it may be 0 or 1. The reason behind that is we are going to see. So it is just going to run either true or either false. So boolean is having just 1 bit. 1 bit is nothing but it is going to either generate 1 or it is going to either generate 0. So in this way it is 1 bit. Represented integer value as an object. So here we have just created an integer. Here I is capital, and this is nothing but this is an object. Okay, you will see what is this. So this is an object, and here is the 42. Okay, so what does this seems? Okay, see, my integer object is of type integer. Okay, and initialize it with the value of 42. So we have just declared the 42 value over here. In Java, integer is a class that wraps a primitive integer value into an object. Okay, then after that, allowing it to be used in context where objects are required, such as collection or method. So it is just like an object. We have just created an object here, and as we use object normally, we can use it. This we are going to see what is a non-primitive data type. Okay, before moving this, I'm just going to run all the code again. Byte, then we are having short, then we are having integer, then we are having a long, and then we are having floating point, then we are having double. Okay, you can just see over here there is a double. Then we are having a character, then we are having a boolean value, and then we are having a integer, which is just like an object. The next thing we are going to know, and that is the non-primitive data type. This is also called as the reference data type. So where it is? Okay, so non-primitive data types is nothing but it is inside Java, are created by a programmer. Programmer means like us. What we want to initialize, we can just declare this. A programmer is going to declare all these types by Java, except for string. Okay, string is not there. These data types refer to objects and offer versatility beyond simple values. Examples of non-parameter data types: so strings, arrays, classes, and interfaces. As you know, arrays, if we are going to create an array, so we define it how much array we want and what is going to be inside that array, which data type is going to be inside that array. So it is just depend up to the user. Okay, so similarly classes also, it depends up to the programmer which class he wants to create, or everything. Okay, so non-primitive types can be used to call methods to perform operations. Okay, we can just create different methods. Methods is nothing but like functions only, and whenever we need to use it, we just call it, and this is been declared by the programmer. In short, if I just want to tell you the non-parameter data type, it is nothing but it is a data type which is created by a programmer, and it is going to be defined by a programmer. So we say it as non-parameter data type, or we called it as reference data type. Okay, here you can just see reference data type. That means user is going to for this all this thing. Okay, this is also called as reference data types. Okay, this is all about this lecture and video. We will try to work with some programs. Okay, thank you guys for watching this.